Hello there, and thank you so much for participating in this examination. My name is Calliope, and I am going to be administering this examination today. How are you doing today? Okay. I hope by the time you leave this examination, you feel even just the littlest bit better. Is there any places at all that you feel any pain, or do you have any current illness at all? Wonderful. Okay, so we don't need to worry about that. Today we are going to be examining you with 4 very basic but very important diagnostic techniques. We have inspection, palpation, percussion, and auscultation. Now, inspection will be me looking at, for example, your face. So if I were to come in real close here and take a look at your face, I'll look at the proportions, the symmetry of it. I'll look at the pallor of your skin, your eyes, your mouth. We'll look for any skin abnormalities. Do you look to be quite sweaty? Does your skin look to be very dry? Is it very reddened? Do we have any sort of blemishes or wounds? Things of that nature. And palpation is going to be where I am physically touching you. Do you mind if I give you an example here? Touching your face? Okay. So here, let's say for example, I am inspecting and palpating along the hairline here. And I'm feeling the skin for any abnormalities. Looking for any signs of, for example, psoriasis or seborrheic dermatitis, infestation, or any maybe perhaps odd moles or marks. So we take a gentle hand here to palpate the skin, just like that. Now, percussion is going to be a little bit of an interesting one in that I am going to be tapping along your body. Depending on where we're doing it, depends on what kind. We can do a direct percussion or we can do an indirect percussion. Direct percussion is where I am physically tapping on your skin without any barrier. And we would do this for checking the sinuses, for example. Do you mind if I show you real quick? Okay, so if I were to just tap, 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 tap along the ethmoid sinus here, we would see if there's any pain or tenderness in that, see if there's inflammation in the sinus cavity. And indirect percussion would be used, for example, for the chest or the abdomen, where I will be tapping, but I'll be using my hand as a bit of a barrier. So I'll be striking my finger, and I like to do it with a 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 tap, but I'm listening for the sound that comes back. See if there's, for example, fluid in an area that there shouldn't be. And lastly, auscultation is a very fancy word for listening. And auscultation can be done with the use of our stethoscope. This stethoscope only has a diaphragm. Some stethoscopes have both the diaphragm and another attachment that looks like a cone, and that would be the bell. Each side would be better for hearing either higher or lower frequencies. And we can do auscultation, of course, on the chest. We can do it on the abdomen. We can also do it on the pulse points, or we can check for bruits in the carotid artery. So we're going to be looking at all these different techniques on you, on different parts of your body. Does that sound like something you'd be okay with doing? Wonderful. Thank you so much. So if at any point you feel any pain or discomfort, please let me know so we can investigate it while we're already here. Okay? All right, wonderful. So for the purposes of this examination, do I have permission to touch you throughout it? Wonderful. Thank you. So why don't we start with the first example with your face. I'm going to come in a little closer here. Just wiggle in a little closer. Okay. So I'm going to start by just inspecting the face. We did a little bit of preliminary inspection with our example, of course. But I just want to get a closer look. And we want to look at, for example, the hair distribution in the eyebrows or the eyelashes. We want to look for any places of flaking of the skin, any hyperpigmentation as well. Okay, and let's take a look at the ears as well. So, if we look, for example, behind the ear, this is a spot where we can find abnormalities like lesions. It's not somewhere we can see easily on our own. Peek for you and have a little look-see. Okay, and we've taken a look at the hairline as well. Doesn't seem to be any abnormalities with that. Have you noticed any changes in your skin, on your face, your hair, even along the neck at all? No. Okay, now just take a look at the neck while we're here. Wonderful. So let me take a peek at the head. So I'm going to swivel over. And I'm going to take a look at the top of your head. Good. And I'm just going to piece through the hair a little bit and see if there is anything going on. I'm just going to stabilize your head here with my hand on your forehead. Okay. Let's take a little peek. And I can take a little look at the hairline on the back of the head as well. Okay. Good. All right, and the back of the neck while I'm here. And I'll also be palpating around here. So for example, back along the hairline, we have the occipital lymph nodes right here. I can also feel the back of the neck for any textural differences, or if there are any moles or blemishes, things we might need to take a closer look at. And I can feel the spine here. Right, let's bring it back. Hello. we can do a bit of palpation here. Just going to feel the temporal muscle here. Would you mind just clenching your teeth for me? Good, and unclench. Clench and unclench. Good, let's do that with the TMJ joint here, and the masseter muscle. If you could clench your jaw for me. Good, unclench. Clench. Unclench. Good, and if you could just open your jaw for me. Close the jaw. Open. Close. Good, and how did that feel? Is there any pain in that? Is there any loss of mobility with that? No. Okay, very good. And let's feel the post-auricular nodes behind the ear. Do our palpation. And then in front of the ear as well. We have pre-auricular. And underneath the jaw, we have submandibular and submental. These ones need a little bit of a rolling motion to feel them. If you have a distended one of these, it's kind of an odd feeling. Good. Now let's feel into the neck as well. So we have superficial cervical, deep cervical chain, posterior cervical. There's a lot going on here. We have the big muscle, the sternocleidomastoid, one of my favorite muscles to pronounce. Good. And while we're here, let's take a little auscultation, and then we'll do our palpation on the sinuses. Not everything's going to be quite in order, as long as we hit our bases. Okay, so I am just going to first palpate very gently the carotid artery, and then we'll take a little listen. Okay, I will do one at a time. Let's start right here. Okay. Very good. And then on the other side. Good. Now I'm going to be listening to it for what's known as a bruit or an audible heart murmur. What I want you to do is I'm going to have you take a deep breath in and hold it while I am auscultating. Okay? Take a deep breath in and hold. Good. And you can let that go. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Good. Now, while I have the stethoscope in, I'd like to just take a little listen to the temporalis. There's a pulse here, right in here. So let's just do that, just for funsies. Okay? Don't have to breathe any differently. Just allow me to try to find that pulse. Bet you've rarely had someone's stethoscope on your face, huh? Good. Let's listen to the other side. This one's just for funsies. Okay, very good. Now, about that direct percussion, I'm just going to be tapping along your ethmoid, your maxillary, and your frontal sinuses. Do let me know if there's any pain or tenderness. It is indeed allergy season, so some people are really feeling that in the sinuses. So just stay still for me. Good. Any pain or tenderness in this? Okay. And if I were to do that along the maxillary sinuses, right above the maxilla. Nothing here? Okay. And what if I were to do that on the frontal sinuses here? Nothing there? Okay, wonderful. So let's work our way down. Now we have the chest, of course, would be next. So for the chest, we do inspection, palpation, percussion, and auscultation. Okay, in that order. It switches up when we get to the abdomen, but that's going to be our order for the chest wall. Now, firstly, I'd like to inspect. And here we're looking for example, scars or deformities in the chest wall. I'm also just watching how you breathe as well. See if there is any difficulty in that. And if so, what exactly it looks like. Is it trouble on the inhale? Is it trouble on the exhale? Good. We can just feel the chest wall as well. Do our palpation. And we'll also be doing this for the posterior chest wall, also known as the back. Okay, and I'm going to feel the chest expansion. So I'm going to put my hands on your chest, and I just want you to breathe in as deeply as you can. Good, and then out. Okay, breathe in. And out. Wonderful, wonderful. So now we can do our percussion. Now with this, I will be placing my hand around the chest and striking my finger with my other finger. I'm going to be listening to the sounds that come back. Okay. All right. Good. Let's do some auscultation. So first I'm going to listen to you breathe, and then we're going to listen to your vocal resonance. So I am going to be placing the stethoscope on your chest, and I'm going to first listen to the lungs. I'll listen to the vocal resonance. We'll listen to your heart. Okay? Lots and lots of auscultation going on here. So I am just going to place the stethoscope on your chest, and for the lungs, I'm going to have you take a deep breath in and out. Good. Take a deep breath in and out. 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 Okay. So, I was listening to the anterior chest wall, more specifically your lungs, obviously. I haven't heard any wheezing. There weren't any crackles, no coarse crackles, no fine crackles. Now, I'm going to palpate along the heart. We're going to feel for heaves and thrills with my hand, different parts of my hand, and those are palpable heart murmurs. Okay? So I'm going to put my hand on your chest, and we'll just feel for a second. While I was palpating the chest wall, should have taken a detour and did that, but that's okay. Good. And let me feel for the apex beat. So this is going to be your mid-clavicular line and fifth intercostal space down. Okay? Spaces between your ribs, those are the intercostals. So we can come mid-clavicular line here. And then here at the sternum, we can count down to the fifth intercostal space and meet in the middle. So we have right there. Just going to feel that. And then we'll also take a little listen. Good. All right. Right here. So for the heart, you can just breathe normally. Good. Now let's take some little listens around the heart. So here, let's do aortic, and pulmonic, and tricuspid, good, and mitral. Wonderful. And then we get Erb's point right here. Okay. Then let's circle back to that vocal resonance, huh? Kind of been going a little bit around, but we are still going to hit our major points. So when I place the stethoscope on the chest, I want you to say 99. Okay? All right, I'm going to listen to how the word sounds in your chest. Okay, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99. Good. So now we get to do a lot of these tests on the back. So let me go ahead and we will take a little look. Firstly, we'll do our inspection. Looking for scars, deformities, how the chest expands and contracts. Okay. And also just feeling the chest. Good. And would you mind lifting up your arm? Good. And the other side. Good. You can put those back. Now, let's go ahead and do our percussion. So I'm just going to be tapping on your back with my finger. Okay. Good. And then let's auscultate the lungs from the back. So I'm going to have you take a deep breath in here and out. Deep breath in 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 and out. Last set right here. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Okay, let's grab that vocal resonance. So every time I place the stethoscope on your back, I'll have you say 99. Okay? All right. 99. 99. 99. 99. 99. 99. 99. 99. Wonderful. There we go. Excellent. So that will be it for your posterior side. Now we're going to move down to the abdomen. So the abdomen has a bit of a different order. We can inspect, then we can auscultate, palpate, and percuss. So the reason we are going to do auscultation first is because the sounds may change when we start feeling around in there, okay? So we'll do inspection, auscultation, percussion, then palpation. So I will just get this one ready, and let's take a look real quick. Okay. Very good. And if you could just breathe normally. Okay. Good. Right, and let's bring in the stethoscope. So I'm going to have you breathe normally through this. So when we have a quiet moment, just wanted to let you know. Been doing everything I've needed to do. Appreciate it very greatly. Okay. Let's get in some of that percussion. We're going to be doing some indirect percussion here, right? This feeling for listening, rather, along the borders. Listening for, is there fluid where there shouldn't be, or is there not fluid where there should be? And then we can do our palpation. Now, palpation on the abdomen has both a firm and deep palpation. So the firm palpation is generally used with one hand. The deep palpation can be done with two. So the deep palpation is a little uncomfortable, but the firm palpation shouldn't be too bad. The only tip I have for you is just keep breathing through it. It shouldn't be painful. If it is, let me know. And other than that, it doesn't last very long. Okay? Alright, so let's do firm palpation first. Good, and then let's do deep palpation. Okay, let's keep breathing. Just like that. Doesn't take very long. Okay, so let's do some inspection, palpation, not so much percussion, and we could certainly auscultate the pulse points. That would be a fun thing to do. But percussion is going to be heading out. So let's start with inspecting and palpating the arms. So we have the shoulder here. And then we come all the way down the arm to the hand. Good. And let's go ahead and look at the other arm as well, from the shoulder here down the upper arm, the elbow right here, forearm, and the hand. So I am going to just check the temperature with the backs of my hands, see if there's any discrepancy, make sure everything is just warm but not overly warm and not overly cold either. So just feel hands up to the arms. The joints can get pretty warm if you're using them. I know if I'm working at the computer for a while, it feels like a sauna, like a burn on my joints. Okay, good. And let's take a look at your elbows, if you wouldn't mind. Good. And have plaques here, maybe somewhere they hide. Good. Okay, let's take a look at your fingers, more specifically the fingernails. I'm going to check the capillary refill on them as well. I just want to make sure your nails are in good shape. A lot of health problems can show up in the nails and the fingers. Okay, so I'm going to just press on each nail and then release. And we want to see the color come back in less than 2 seconds. Just like that. Okay, we're going to press, release, press, release, press, release, press, release. Very good. It's not only allergy season, but it is bird baby season, isn't it? It's one of my favorite sounds personally. It sounds like life. Good. Their mama must have came home. Now let's palpate the pulses. So here we can feel the radial pulse on each wrist. And we can feel the ulnar pulse as well. Okay, and then we can feel the pulse in the crook of the elbow. Feel the strength of it, its rhythm. Okay. And just for funsies, let's take a little listen. So if I could have this arm, good. Okay, and the ulnar. Okay, and the crook of the elbow. And the other arm. Ulnar. Radial. and brachial. Good. Now let's take a little shot at looking at your legs and feet. I'm gonna get a little situated here. There we go. So let's take a peek. So have you had any changes or any abnormalities with the legs in terms of appearance? Okay, and have you had any other problems with the legs? Have they gotten much more fatigued easily? Are they more painful than usual? Any loss in mobility? Okay, good. So here, a big hot spot is the shin. Okay, and then we can look at the foot as well. Look for any edema. Legs can get pretty swollen if there's something going on. Or if you've stood on your feet the entire day, they can get a little swollen too. But we're looking for if there shouldn't be a normal reason why they're swollen. Good. Okay. So let us just feel real quick the pulse at the back of the knee. And this is the popliteal pulse. Good. Let's look at the foot. So I'm going to look at the toenails, their quality, and we'll also do the capillary refill check. Good. Okay, and just going to be pressing on the nails. Press, release. And let's palpate the pulse at the top of the foot. Good, good. Now let's take a listen. So while I've got you here, let's do the foot pulse. Good. And then back of the knee. Good. And the other side. Okay, let's put your legs back. There we go, and I can get situated back where I need to be. All right, so I think that will conclude our inspection, auscultation, palpation, percussion, examination. unless there is anything else that you think I should take a look at. Ah, yes, you are correct. So I didn't feel any lymph nodes below the neck. So let me go ahead and feel supraclavicular, and then I will feel under your arms as well. Okay? So let's go ahead and hit right above the clavicle here. Wonderful. And then let's get under the arms. Axillary, I believe. Just need you to lift up the arm a little bit. There we go. Okay, you can put that down. And then let's lift up the other arm. There. Makes it just a little bit easier. There. Okay, so neither of those felt distended at all. Didn't feel anything out of the ordinary. Now, anything else you can think of? All right, very good. So let me pop off the stethoscope. And I'd like to thank you so much for your participation in this examination. It was very enlightening, and I had a great time, and I hope you did too. Thank you so much. Have a whale of a day, and a good rest of your night. Goodbye now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it.